Yoga can be great for stress relief and for flexibility, but it's also really beneficial to runners. As runners, we tend to get really tight hips, and then we need that blood flow and recovery from our legs in order to get that good turnover for our next run. So 3 poses that do just that are pigeon pose, reverse warrior pose, and hero pose. The first one I'm going to show you is pigeon pose, and I like to get into this pose a little bit differently. I like to start out in a plank position, or in a quadruped position, and then come up to a plank, bring one foot in, and then come down to your pigeon. It's just a little bit easier to get into and get that really good stretch in the piriformis and that hip and in the glutes. So once you're here, you can either hang out right here, or you can lower down onto your forearms if you're more flexible, or even all the way down to the ground, which I'm not quite there yet, so I'm going to hang out right here in my forearms, but I do feel that great stretch in my hips and in my piriformis. The second pose is hero's pose, which gives you a really good stretch to your quads as well as your shins, which can tend to get tight as runners. Bring your knees together, your heels will be outside of your hips, and you're just sink down in between your ankles, letting that good flexibility come to those quads and shins. The third pose is reverse warrior, which really targets those hip flexors for flexibility, which tend to get really tightened from running. So, starting out in a half kneeling position, come up to a lunging position, and you can either bring that back knee down to the ground or let it hover. Bring your arms up overhead and then extend at the thoracic spine, lifting your chest toward the sky. You'll feel a really good stretch in that hip flexor, as well as get a really good opening throughout the chest. So those are 3 great yoga poses to start implementing into your routine in order to keep your hips healthy and ready for your next run.